Okay, so we're looking at question 6 of the 2013 exam. So in this question we're given an LP problem with this final tableau. The decision variables are x1, x2 and x3, and the slack variables are s1, s2 and s3. Right, so in this question we're after the solution of the primal problem, the dual problem, and we have to state the value of the objective function at the solution. Okay, so we'll firstly look at this primal problem and find that solution. So what we're after here is the values of x1, x2 and x3 using this final tableau. So in this case we have x1 present in this column and we can find its corresponding value there. So in this case we can say that x1 equals 0. Now x2 also makes an appearance in this left hand column here, and it has a corresponding value of 3. So we can say that x2 equals 3. Now finally we can see that x3 doesn't make an appearance in this left hand column, and when that happens that variable is equal to 0. So we have that x3 is equal to 0. Now that corresponds to the coordinates 0, 3, 0. Okay, so now let's look at the dual problem. Okay, so for the dual problem we actually have to look at the slack variables in this final tableau and their corresponding values down in the Z row. And also I'm going to write the solution of the dual problem using the variables u1, u2 and u3 instead of s1, s2 and s3, and that's just because that's how we usually set up the dual problem. We tend to try not to use or recycle s1, s2 and s3 because they're typically used for slack variables like in this table. So so we'll say that u1 equals 5 because we're looking at this first column here. u2 equals 0 and u3 equals 3, and that corresponds to the coordinates 5, 0 and 3. Right, so what remains is to find the value of the objective function at the solution. So that's the value of z in the final tableau, which we can find in the bottom right hand corner of this final tableau. So we write this down, so that means that z is equal to 14.